Love or Death by Xtrole, Part 2. Note, like with Part 1, there may be reading errors because this is just a casual reading of this story. Chapter 5, Brains. As Big Bad Wolf and I followed Ravana towards where Zelly and Whoosh had been a week ago, a zombie suddenly showed up and said, "Brains? Can anyone spare some brains?" Unfortunately, Big Bad Wolf said with a smirk, "These two don't have any of them, and I'm keeping my brain right here in my head where it belongs." "Humph," the zombie said. "Do you three at least have any idea where some brains that I can eat might be at?" "I don't think that anyone's going to want to part with their brains, Bud," Ravana said, and I said, "Will you die without them, or do they just taste good?" "They just taste good," the zombie said, "and I can't die since I'm already dead. So what are you three doing anyway? I mean, a wolf, a human, and a vampire is quite an odd little assortment of traveling companions. We are on a mission of love, life, and peace," Big Bad Wolf declared. "See, I'm seeking to save a lovely wolf lady who might be my one true love from a dragon. Food over here is trying to not get killed by being gobbled up, and Ravana is trying to forge peace between wolves and vampires." "That sounds great and all," the zombie said thoughtfully, "but do you know what would make your mission even better? Brains." "That's right. I mean, doesn't a quest for love, life, peace, and brains have a better ring to it?" "Huh," I said thoughtfully. "I suppose that maybe adding brains to our mission might make it more likely that Whoosh and Zelly will agree to give us the enchanted water gun. What do you two think?" "I'm down," Ravana said, "and so I guess it's up to Big Bad Wolf to decide whether he wants the acceptance of—" "What's your name, zombie?" "Oh, I'm Zom. "Very good. And so, yeah, it's up to Big Bad Wolf to decide whether he wants the acceptance of Som into our group to be unanimous. If it seems likely to help us complete the mission, then I guess it's fine with me," Big Bad Wolf said with a shrug, and Som said, "Yay, this is brain-tastic." "Brain-tastic it is," I said cheerfully, and then I said, "Have you actually gobbled up any brains yet?" "Just one," Zom said, and that was because I stumbled across a hyena named Chucks while he was gobbling up a human, and I politely asked Chucks if I could gobble up the human's brain, since the human clearly didn't need it anymore. Chucks just began rolling around on the ground while laughing hysterically, and so I took that as a yes, gobbled up the brain, and said thanks to Chucks, and then wandered off while Chucks was still rolling around on the ground and laughing hysterically. "So you never gobble up brains unless you get permission?" Ravana asked. And Zom said, "Yup, some of my fellow zombies are rude and eat brains without obtaining permission, but I'm trying to build bridges with other creatures. Us zombies don't actually need those brains, and so we'd be smarter to make friends instead of enemies with folks like y'all. You didn't ask for permission from that human whose brain you gobbled up," Big Bad Wolf pointed out. And Zom said, That's true, but since the human was already dead, the person to ask permission from was the carnivore who had killed the human for food. So what if I got mad at a human and murdered them? I said, would you ask me for permission to gobble up that human's brain? Murder is different from killing for food, Zom said, and I wouldn't want to benefit from murder. I'd actually probably report you to the police. Just then, a lion burst into sight and said, did I hear police? What's the problem, and how can I be of service? Hey, Officer Maine, Ravana said cheerfully, and we were just talking about a situation that would merit calling the police, and there wasn't actually a situation that necessitated police involvement that was happening. Very good, Maine said, and I'm off duty right now anyway, and so I don't really have to be enforcing the law right now. What are you four up to? We're on a quest for love, life, peace, and brains, Zom said excitedly, and I added that the love part is Big Bad Wolf over here, hoping to save a lovely wolf lady from a dragon. The life part is me trying to not die by being gobbled up. The peace part is Ravana trying to forge peace between wolves and vampires, and the brains part is Zom trying to get permission to gobble up some brains. That's quite a quest you've got there, Maine said, but perhaps you'd like for me to join and add justice to that epic list. Now, law enforcement doesn't always equal justice, and some laws are unjust, and I know all too well that some law enforcement officers behave in very unjust ways that require us to ensure that they face justice. But I am a lion who does try to be as just as I can, regardless of what the laws are, and am always willing to fight corruption in my police department when I discover that an officer has been behaving in evil ways that necessitate taking that officer's badge away and or locking them up. I suppose that a mission of love, life, peace, brains, and justice has a nice ring to it, Big Bad Wolf said with a shrug, and the rest of us all voiced agreement with Big Bad Wolf, and so now Maine was a part of our noble mission too. Chapter 6. Hereby. It wasn't long after Maine joined our crew before we reached where Whoosh and Zelly had been a week ago. Drat, Ravana said. I sure hate it when I'm right sometimes, and as I suspected, they're not here anymore. Now we have to search for clues about where they traveled to next. Then a badger came into sight and said, you five are looking to solve a mystery, eh? Well, I am Detective Runa, and maybe I can help you discover whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. That sounds appealing to me, Maine said thoughtfully. I mean, then our quest would be about love, life, peace, brains, justice, and discovery. Absolutely, I agreed. The more of these virtues that we can get involved in this quest, the more likely it'll be that Zelly and Whoosh will think that we can be trusted with the enchanted water gun once we finally find them. Food and Maine are correct, of course, Big Bad Wolf said, and so welcome to the team, Detective Runa. brains, Zom added excitedly, and Ravana said, "We're trying to figure out where a wizard named Whoosh and a witch named Zelly are right now, Detective Runa. They were here a week ago, and so we must deduce where they went to next if we want to complete our noble quest, which is to help Big Bad Wolf rescue a fair wolf damsel from a dragon who is holding her captive." "Very good," Runa said happily, "and I dare say that I've already found a clue, because there are ashes on the ground that clearly suggest that Zelly and Whoosh received one of those letters that automatically burst into flames a little while after they've been read." "Huh," I mused, "and how do we figure out what the letter said? After all, the whole point of those letters bursting into flames is to prevent people like us from figuring out what was written down." "Aha," a new voice said, "but some people are able to uncover the secrets of history, like me, and that's because I am a clock who can look back in time to see what happened, though I can only see what happened in the specific location that I happen to be in." "Clocktastic," Zom said excitedly, "and so now our quest is about love, life, peace, brains, justice, discovery, and history. Plus, 7 is a lucky number, and it's always good to have luck on our side." "Well said, Zom," Big Bad Wolf agreed, and the rest of us all murmured agreement too, and were very interested to discover what our new clock friend would find out. "Sounds good," the clock said cheerfully. "Oh, and my name is Dawn, by the way, and I'll just go ahead and figure out what the letter said right away." And so the rest of us all waited for a bit while Dawn looked back in time, and then, before long, Dawn triumphantly said, "I have now seen what was written on the letter, and it said, 'Dear Zelly and Whoosh, you are hereby invited to the castle to celebrate the wedding of Princess Penny and Chef Carter, and we hope that you'll be able to make it. Sincerely, the Queen and King.'" "That wedding is scheduled to take place tomorrow," Runa noted, "which means that if we simply head over to the castle, then we'll be able to find Whoosh and Zelly, assuming, of course, that they are planning on accepting the invitation, but it seems very unlikely that they would decline to attend such an important event." "Perfect," I said cheerfully, "which means that I propose that we all begin traveling towards the castle immediately." Big Bad Wolf, Ravana, Zom, Maine, Runa, and Dawn all agreed that traveling towards the castle right away made sense, and so the 7 of us all began traveling towards the castle in hopes of finding Zelly and Whoosh. Chapter 7. Delivery. As we headed towards the castle, an owl suddenly flew into sight and said, "A dragon asked me to deliver this message for you folks. I don't know if it's good news, though. You aren't the type to blame the messenger, right? I've been known to lash out at messengers from time to time," Big Bad Wolf admitted, "but since our quest involves piling up virtues so that we can convince a wizard and witch that our cause is just, it probably makes more sense to invite you to join us than it would to attack you." "Excellent," Runa said in agreement. If this owl joins us on our adventure, then our mission will be about love, life, peace, brains, justice, discovery, history, and delivery. All in favor of this owl joining our group, say aye, I said happily, and everyone said hi, and the owl said, I suppose that I can join you. I mean, I haven't been on a noble quest in a while, and so maybe this will be good for me. That's the spirit, Dawn said cheerfully, and then added that my name's Dawn. The badger is Runa, the lion is Mane, the zombie is Zomzom, the vampire is Ravana, the human is Food, and the wolf is Big Bad Wolf. What's your name? Oh, I'm Hoot, the owl said, and it's nice to meet you all, though I do suspect that this letter will be a bit of a buzzkill. Just let Food read it then, Big Bad Wolf said with a smirk, because that'll mean that if I get angry at someone, then it'll probably be him, which will probably mean that I'll just gobble him up. You won't gobble me up because of a mean letter from a dragon, I said in a dismissive tone of voice, though I was secretly a bit worried, because you made a deal, and you're not gonna gobble me up unless I fail to help you find your one true love. And I will ensure that Big Bad Wolf sticks to that deal too, Officer Maine said solemnly, because he doesn't get to agree to make this quest about justice and then start committing injustices like that. And I was obviously just joking when I said that, Big Bad Wolf said in an exasperated tone of voice, and so everybody can calm down and just let Food here read the letter so that we know what nonsense this dragon wants to say to us. And so Hoot gave me the letter, and I began reading it out loud. A fair wolf damsel is being held captive by none other than me, and you'll never save her, Big Bad Wolf, or my name isn't Sunny. And my plan is to gobble her up, and I shall do it within a week. And by the way, Zelly and Whoosh no longer have the enchanted water gun that you seek. That silly weapon is now being safely guarded by some trolls who you can't find, and if you were to somehow come across them, then they'd just freeze you up in no time. Just face it, loser, your quest's a dud, and it's even more hopeless and pathetic than you, and so maybe you should get back to gobbling folks up, because that's the only thing that you actually know how to do, for I am too powerful to ever defeat, even if my opponent wasn't such a weakling, and that's the only reason why I'm even sending this letter, so that you can learn this one true thing. Yes, you will know by the end of this week that you are not powerful or mighty, and you'll then have discovered the most important virtue of all, which is humility. Well, that's an important virtue for you to learn anyway, because the virtue for me is pride, and the only thing that can truly humble you and priden me up more will be when the lovely wolf lady of your dreams has died. Chapter 8, Humility. That dragon sure is a jerk, isn't he? Runa said in a disapproving tone of voice, and Dawn said, absolutely. I think that he's the one who needs to learn some humility. Humph. And Hoot said, yeah, that letter was even worse than I thought it'd be. I'm not delivering letters for that meanie ever again after this. And Maine growled and said, old Sonny sure needs to be brought to justice, that's for sure. And Zomzom said, brains. And Ravana said, I recommend taking into consideration that he might be telling some lies, which means that Whoosh and Zelly may still have the enchanted water gun. And I said, that's very true about the possible lies, Ravana, and I've gotta say that even though I'm biased against Big Bad Wolf, since he's still promising to gobble me up if I fail to complete my part of the deal, even I can see that this dragon is way more of a villain than Big Bad Wolf is. And then we all waited a little while for Big Bad Wolf to respond, and we saw that he had pulled out a Bible and was turning the pages as if to find a verse in it. He soon found the verse and said, aha, here it is. That overconfident buffoon isn't even worth responding to. But when the good book says, let not him that girdeth on his harness boast himself as he that putteth it off, it is talking precisely about pompous idiots who have a delusional god complex like him, and the bigger that these little dopes are, the harder that they are doomed to fall. Exactly, Zomzom said approvingly. That's what I keep on telling to some of my fellow zombies too. They think that they're so tough that they can just needlessly gobble up brains without permission, but then lots of zombies end up getting defeated by folks for doing it. When you rock the boat too much, don't be surprised if that boat tips over and gets you all cold and wet. And so it's settled then, Dawn said. We'll add humility to our list of virtues because it's time to humble that foul-mouthed dragon. I love it, Maine said happily. And so now our mission is about love, life, peace, brains, justice, discovery, history, delivery, and humility. Sounds good to me, I said cheerfully, and you know what? I think that I see a witch and wizard up ahead of us. Are they Zelly and Whoosh, Ravana? They are indeed, Ravana said, and so we all walked over to Zelly and Whoosh, and Big Bad Wolf said, hello, my name is Big Bad Wolf, and my friends and I are on a noble quest, and we're hoping that you'll determine that our cause is just enough that you'll be willing to let us borrow the enchanted water gun so that we can use it to complete our important mission. The enchanted water gun certainly can't be given to just anybody, Whoosh said gravely, and Zelly looked curious and said, and how do you folks hope to convince us that your cause is just enough that we can trust you with such a dangerous weapon? I am Hoot, Hoot said, and I delivered a very nasty letter from a dragon named Sonny who needs to be humbled, and so this quest is about humility and delivery. And I am Dawn, Dawn said, and I had to figure out what had happened in the past in order to help the rest of the group find you two so that we could ask you for the enchanted water gun. And so this mission is about history. And I'm Runa, Runa said, and I had to use my detective skills to find the evidence that enabled Dawn to know what to look for in the past, and so this mission is about discovery. And I'm Maine, Maine said, and that dragon is not just a carnivore who's being a carnivore. Nope, he's being cruel and malicious, and his behavior demands that he be brought to justice. And so this quest is about justice. And I'm Zom, Zom said, and I'm trying to convince some of my fellow zombies to be more reasonable and to not just needlessly go around gobbling up the brains of random people. And so this quest is about brains. And you two already know that I'm Ravana said, and I'm trying to show that wolves and vampires don't always have to be enemies, and so this mission is about peace. And my name is Food, I said, and I'm trying to not get gobbled up so that I can continue living, and so this mission is about life. And I've already introduced myself, of course, Big Bad Wolf said, and I am trying to save a lovely wolf lady from an irritating and overconfident dragon, and once I've rescued her, I will politely ask her if she wants to go on a date with me, and if she says yes, then I will be overjoyed, and if she says no, then I will politely accept no for an answer, because I'm not a tantrum-throwing crybaby who expects people to agree to date them. And so this quest is about love. Well, I don't know how we could say no to assisting you folks on such a noble quest, Whoosh said thoughtfully, and Zelly said, of course, they have proven that their cause is just, and so we can just lead them to the inn near the castle that we're staying at, and then we'll give them the enchanted water gun once we get there. And all of us questers cheered, and then Zelly and Whoosh began leading us towards the inn near the castle that they were staying at.